Hello, today is April 26, 2014. I'm Jeffrey Tennant. I'd like to discuss Thursday night's calls, Friday's action, and try to make a prediction for what's coming up in the market. Thursday night I said there was a mejt target of 1884.06 plus. I said it might change and it did. The new target is 1883.27 plus. We also had a target of 1881.50. I said Thursday night I thought there was an increased risk that these would fail, which they did. Failed targets at extremes of trend are a feature of the mejt system, and I personally am not looking for these to print anytime soon, but they should print eventually. We had some old targets. We had a target of 1868.56 minus from April 21st. We hit it early in the day, bounced. There was resistance right on the mark. We then dropped and came close enough to the 1859.57 target within 0.13 points, close enough to satisfy that target too. Sometimes it's amazing how well the market remembers mejt targets from several days earlier. During the day, mejt said this rally wouldn't stick and it didn't. It said this drop wouldn't stick and it didn't. There is no call based on the mejt system for Monday. Let's try to make a call based on something else. First, I'd like to say that whenever we come this close to a target, whether it's a mejt target or any other kind of a target, the target usually prints eventually, and whatever support there might have been when it was touched the first time tends to go away. So if this low breaks, it could be trouble. There is a pattern I describe on page 120 of my first book, The mejt System. And there is a question as to whether or not that would trigger a short-term buy signal if we drop enough Monday. I want to stress that while a bounce of some kind, should that pattern be triggered as possible, the pattern is based on failed targets, and this is no longer a failed target. We came close enough to satisfy it. It now is an optional target, so I don't know if that page 120 signal would be triggered. There just aren't enough instances of this happening. But let's see if we can make a prediction based on some other factors. This is a 15-minute chart. One of my trading rules, which is not part of the system, is that when you have a diagonal trend line like this and it breaks, the trend line tends to be hit again. The trend line was already broken, not by much, but it was, and it was hit again. So on that system, there's no requirement that we retrace. This is a chart based on the work of Tom DeMark. He considers this line in yellow as significant, and he says there is support at 1 bar under the line. So based on that rule, we are at a support level now, and if support breaks, it could be trouble. This is a daily chart. This break of the blue trend line targeted 1745.50-ish. We did go above the trend line once. We've now closed under it. I really would not like to see us go over this trend line again if this method is going to work. And that's pretty close to where we closed. I know very little about Elliott wave, but let's suppose this count is correct. Suppose this move down was wave 1. If so, then we've just completed an ABC with wave 2 being at a Fibonacci 78.6% retracement of wave 1. In addition, Wave C of 2 would be twice wave A. That's 50% and that's 100%. So if that's the right count, and I have no idea if it is or not, then we could be starting a wave 3 down. For these reasons, I think Monday's open is going to be of great significance. What I'd like to see is a gap under Friday's low, and should that happen, I think we could have a waterfall decline. If we don't gap under this low, something else is probably going on, and I would expect to see higher prices at some point during the day. And that is today's call.